What's good, guys? We are back at it again with another MLB The Show 25 video for you guys, and today I'm going to be updating my top 50 list for you guys. I know a lot of you guys have been looking forward to this one in particular, and we are running it up on Showzone, showing you guys what I think are the best 50 cards in the game, more or less. We have some honorable mentions. We have some just pitchers. I'm just going to put certain pitchers that don't transcend difficulty in honorable mentions, because they're niche. Some of them are only good on all-star, some of them are only good on higher difficulty. It's just kind of how it is. So if you guys do enjoy the content, like and subscribe. This is the second time actually doing this. I've already done it, but OBS decided to mess up the recording. So again, like and subscribe, because this is also the most effort that a tier list takes. I have to whittle down a list of a ton of cards into 50. So we're going to do our best here. So we're going to start honorable mentions. Everybody at the bottom is just honorable mentions. We're going to rename these real quick. Pictures. Sorry about this. Should have already had this done, but last time OBS corrupted because I paused the recording. So we're going to try to make it one cut, no pauses. No anything. So this will be top 20 and our S tier will be top 10. So all right, we're good to go finally. So Tatis, honorable mentions, great swing, just really bad against lefties and even not the craziest against righties, but has crazy quirks, good swing. Come a roster update, he might be really good. Nanda, really good on certain difficulties, really shocking on others. Arrieta, just solid all-arounder if you want a righty. Dre, haven't used him. Don't know why you would use him. Just looks like Tatis with a worse swing. So not my favorite there. Pettit, high difficulty, control freak. Same for Kluber. Mike Napoli, good alternative if you're only going to be on low difficulty for catcher, but I don't like his swing. Zim, really good, but gets way better as you go up in rank. Raul, really good DH against righties. Not so much in every other spot. Hunter Green, really good all-star pitcher. Not so great as you start going up. Riley Green has a really good swing. He's only on here because I misclicked while trying to add Hunter Green. So he makes it to honorable mentions. DeGrom can be really good, can be really bad. Just kind of depends on who you're playing against. Cueto, another righty control freak that gets way better as you go up. Kind of the same for Leiter, but he almost transcends. He's probably the closest to being good on every difficulty out of all of these. And then Tim Raines starts our top 50. So we're actually getting into the meat and potatoes now. So we have had a rehearsal. I've already done this. So we're going to try to match the tier list up. And then I'll probably just default to the other one because I've sat there and really sweated the rankings in that one. I think Roman Anthony's like top 40, if I remember right. Strom, I got top 20. I debated this because how valuable really is it like a reliever, but I think him and my righty alternative, where's he at? Where's Mr. Fingers? It's just nice to have those guys, a righty and a lefty, that you feel super comfortable going to all the time. And for me, that's Raleigh Fingers and Matt Strom. So for some people, that'll be Andrew Miller and that'll be Trevor Hoffman. I think both of them suck. So for me personally, these two have been the most battle-hardened, proven relievers in the game, where when you bring them in, the worst you're giving up is like one run and they're going to hold the lead. They're like my ideal setup men, which I think is more important than having the closer. I feel like anybody in this game can close. I think having those setup men is really valuable. J-Ram, top 20, nothing crazy. I mean, he's definitely more valuable than two relief pitchers. But nothing crazy. Randy, top 20, a little controversial. It's still Randy, but a lot of players have drilled him. They're used to him, so he's not quite as hard to hit. It's still Randy, but this one also throws a slightly slower slider than some of the ones we got last year. Quite the tongue twister there, and his control in general is just kind of bad. John, kind of the same thing. He's a little better with control. His sinker's a little iffy, but it's just per nines aren't that good. It's still John. He still has like the best pitch mix in the game. But his control is not that crazy. Reese, I think he's top 30 for a free card. This is a stud. If you are somebody that used the gold Team Affinity one, you already know. Contact right's a little suspect. Other than that, great card. Manny, pure DH for the most part. You could play him in the field if you really want to. But if you just need like a righty DH, I think he's towards the top of those type of guys. Glaber, probably the best pure righty second baseman if you don't count playing Mookie in his secondary. So that's pretty valuable. And he actually has a really good swing. When you think of like righty second baseman, you're thinking like Bobby Grich, Ryan Sandberg, if he's still in the game. There's not a lot. So if you just want one that's an absolute stud, Glaber. Awesome swing there. This is Honus, honorable mentions. I thought we had one extra guy. It's because he was in honorable mentions before. And the reason for that is Jackie. So funny they're back to back. Jackie is just a free version of Honus, and I think he has better quirks, and I know he has a better swing with very similar stats. So I like Jackie more, and I think when you're talking about a like fringe top 50 card, that boots Honus to the Shadow Realm, because that's just kind of how it is. Ted Simmons, if it was like a infielders tier list, he'd probably be S tier, I guess A tier now, because we got a lot of new catchers that are arguably better. But when you just look at top 50 players in the game, objectively, it's not a very good card when you compare it with everybody else in the game. Trey, holding on by a thread. He's down here, but you know what you're getting. Pretty bad defense at shortstop, really good swing. If you're not getting a good inside edge, he can be kind of lackluster at the plate. Christian Campbell, similar, just hanging on by a thread. Legit, okay, dude. Yeah, okay. I guess he's going to the back. Really good card, really nice swing. Just struggles with clutch, so that's going to limit him on higher difficulties, but there's objectively not a lot wrong with this card, other than he fields similar to how he fields in real life. It's either a web gem or he boots a routine ground ball, and that's kind of how it is. JD, just Manny. Same team, same position, same best case use scenario. It's a righty DH. So pretty good card there. Maximus Clark here. PCA here. They are the same player. PCA is a little better defensively. Max Clark's a little better with the bat, and I think has a better swing. So it's really about what do you want. For me, I'd probably go Max Clark, just because, like I said, I think he's better offensively, and the swing's better. I think PCA has slightly better clutch or something like that. But for me, I think the defense is going to be similar enough with Max, and the offense will be better. But a lot of people really enjoy that PCA, especially if you're bunting. Ellie De La Cruz, top 40. Like, legit the best defensive shortstop. He's almost the shortstop version of these two. I would argue shortstop defense is harder to find. And I think he gives you more with the bat than both of these do. So I really like him for that reason. I think he's a stud. And I think he's similar to like Lindor, where Lindor in theory should be better defensively. He's not because of the arm strength and the height. But some people will hit better with Lindor, and at least you can hit lefties with Lindor. But I think they're kind of similar. Trout, our first top 10 card, probably not for much longer. He's probably getting downgraded, which sucks. But for right now, he's top 10. People love Trout. And there's a good reason for that. Correa, top 20. Amazing value for like 20K to get like arguably the best shortstop in the game. Absolute stud there. Chipper snuck into the top 40 when I ranked him before. He was more of like a borderline top 50 card. I made this talking point. I want to make it again. Would be awesome on like my alt account, like the Broke Boys account. That would be the best case scenario for this card. But you have to make World Series to get him, and he's like 70K. So he's a good budget card, but he's not a budget card. So that's what's kind of kills him. But he is super usable because of the quirks and the swing. It's just unfortunate. You're going to have some bad at-bats against righties. Leo DeVry, very similar to Lindor, a more well-rounded Lindor, where he doesn't have quite the power that Lindor has, but the defense is going to be better. He's faster. Just Lindor has a better swing. So Cattell, another top 10 card. Defensively, I think he is in the conversation for best defensive shortstop, and I think he is the best defensive second baseman. So he's got a lot of value there. The caveat is he hasn't had inside edge in a while. So you almost have to structure your team to run the Martinez boost, which isn't super hard. You just, use some bench slots. You run Justin Martinez, you run Cattell. If you have him super fractor, he's got 79 contact, which isn't great, but he's also a switch hitter, and he's one of the best defensive second basemen. So I think in those circumstances, he's top 10. But I think most God squads are doing something similar to that, where you're either running Martinez or Franco or Roy Halladay. So I think it's completely realistic to kind of believe that people are maximizing their Martes, especially since shortstop is such a weak spot. Soto, just another guy sneaks in the top 10, and Mookie, also top 10. And we'll kind of structure within the tiers at the end. Polanco, top 20. I like him, and I like his swing, but he's just been unlucky for me, and he's a defensive liability, so it kind of hurts him there. Griffey, probably like a top 30 guy, maybe top 20. I'm putting him top 20 because he's just a way upgraded PCA. Shohei is like a lefty version of kind of JD Martinez is how I view him. It's just I would way rather take righty-righty at bats than lefty-lefty. Mr. George, Jorge Posada, an absolute monster. Like, probably up there relative to when he's came out for like some of the best chase cards we've ever gotten. He's up there with like Ellie, honestly, for the impact that he has and the fact he's going to be on every God squad for a while after you superfractor this card. He's a monster. Absolutely love him. Roger, I think he slots in right there. But again, we'll structure within the tiers at the end here. Brandon Lau, just an awesome like all-star card. Like, I think there's a legit conversation you can have if you'd rather have him or Christian Campbell. And again, we'll structure within as we go, or when we get to the end here. Devers, top 30. First controversial one, probably. I just don't think he's in the same world as like Jose Ramirez, and go ahead and grab him. He's coming up anyway. Chase Headley. I think these two are like the Spider-Man meme. They're the same person. It's just kind of what you want. Some people don't like Headley's swing. Statistically, he's way better. He's also like the best defensive third baseman in the game. Whereas J-Ram has, I believe, slightly better quirks and definitely has a better swing. He also has a small strike zone, so that's going to help some people hit with him. I think I'm taking J-Ram at his best here, playing up against righties with inside edge. And I think I prefer both of them over Devers for sure. I think these guys were the best third baseman in the game before we got our collection award, Scott Rowland. And I think if I had to rank him, he'd be ahead of Clemens. I think he brings more value being a really good hitter for 5 games, whereas Clemens only pitches once every 5 games. But he gives you a good chance at winning. So I think there's good value on Clemens there. Kipnis, like probably, top 30. He's like a lefty Glaber. I like to not have a ton of lefties, but I mean, if you like Kipnis, he's here, as well as Chase Utley, who will be coming up semi-soon. Rollins, I think, is the best out of all of these shortstops. It's not going to be your traditional Rollins. He doesn't have a lot of great power. He's not super fast, and he's not even really good defensively. He's got a good arm, but he's got a bronze shield. Like, he's going to muff some stuff, and you can't get him to a silver shield either. So, no, he is a silver shield. It's kind of weird when it's not under the feet like it has been in the past. So, he's got 70 fielding. You can't get it to 80. So you can't get him to a gold shield, which is, I think, where you'd like to be. And he's also pretty short. So he's not going to play an awesome defensive shortstop. But I think hitting-wise, he'll be better than, like, these 3. Not enough to put him up a tier, I don't think. And he's definitely not worth his price tag right now. But he is still really good. Gilbert, thinks he smacks in right there. Where not quite the hitter Juan Soto is. For some reason, but objectively, statistically, he's got like every quirk as well. For a lot of people, he will be really good. For me personally, Juan Soto is better. Jordan, I think he's Ohtani-esque. I think it's an actual conversation where Ohtani, better stats. Jordan, better contact. They both have really good quirks. I think Jordan's got the better swing over Ohtani. He's easier to hit lefty-lefty with. But it's genuinely up to you. Obviously, Jordan's way better value, but Ohtani's cool as well. Beltran, best overall card. I think hitter-wise, like Soto has a serious conversation. Posada has a good, argument. The new Scott Rowland, probably not, but, some people really enjoy him. But Beltran's just defense. You're getting, PCA-level defense with him being in the conversation of the best hitter in the game, he's going to be the best card for a while. So live series is definitely the way I would go if you're torn between him and Roland. Roland. Dobie. Top 30, 40, 30, 40, 30, 40. Yeah, I think 40. I think I put him 40. It's a conversation. Like, if you want him over Kipnis or somebody, it's a conversation. I actually think he's sneaky good at shortstop, just because he gives you some value that you wouldn't get otherwise. Bryant is like righty Devers, where they both have really good swings. It just kind of depends on what you want. It depends on how many lefties are already in your lineup. Devers is going to kill him on quirks. It's just how it is. But Bryant just always has a really good swing. And he's also pretty fast. So if you have an odd amount of value on third baseman speed, Bryant's got you there. And he's got some okay positional versatility in like left field and stuff as well. McMahon, I don't rate McMahon as high as like Devers. In theory, they're kind of similar. But I think I'd rather use Devers for sure. I think McMahon, where it gets interesting and you could argue him higher, is he can run second base. He can run first base. So if you want a lefty at one of those spots, he can be just as effective as like Kipnis. But I think I'm ranking him mostly as primary, because I think that's where most people play him at. Harper, top 50. Not my favorite first baseman in the world, but he is supercharged. He's really good. But just normally how he is, I think he's very similar to like Babe Ruth, just like without being supercharged, obviously. Top 40, Seager. View him as similar to Jordan, where he's probably best utilized as like a lefty DH. But if you want to run him at third, if you want to run him at short, he's got some value. I don't think at short he's necessarily more valuable than any of these guys. They're going to blow him out of the water defensively. But the bat is the bat, and Corey Seager, he's him every single year with that. Utley goes in this Kipnis tier, so you can see I've already messed up because we have one too many people here. So somebody went down. I think it was Corey Seager. I think I ranked him as a shortstop, and I think he was just top of top 40. And I don't hate that, but it's negotiable. It depends on how good you are with him. So I messed up again because Aaron Judge should be here. Aaron Judge, basically righty Ohtani, in my opinion, where if you would rather have a righty over a lefty DH, or if you wanted to even platoon both of them, would be a very expensive platoon to do. But they both have arguments for being some of the best hitters in the game. It's just Judge is really tall. Some people don't like that. I think his swing's really good, so I don't really mind it. Brian, top 20. He's like, if you don't have Beltran, this is your best alternative for center field, but he's going to line out a lot. He's going to struggle to find a power stroke. It's just kind of how it's going to be with him, and you kind of have to accept that. And then we have Santi, who I actually have over Gil Hodges. If you watched my first weekend classic, I benched Gil Hodges for Santi, but a lot of that was because I was going on GOAT, and I knew people would spam away sliders the whole time. And you just kind of need switch hitters once you get to that top difficulty to combat stuff like that. But all right, so this is already in order. I think that's pretty much what I think of the top 10. So if you want my top 10, there you go. There it is. We're about where we were last time before I structured within the tiers. Let's go ahead and compare and contrast and see where I messed up. So this is not ordered because after you hit save, it doesn't order. So Seager was like top 40 with Chipper Jones. I did that right. Somebody here was not here before. And it was Rhys Hoskins. I mean, looks like the usual suspects. I feel like I did a pretty good job. Was Glaber down a tier? No, he wasn't. Dude, somebody's sticking out here. Is it Utley? Judge, Utley, Glaber, Kipnis, JD, Martinez, Manny. It's Shohei. No, it's not Shohei. Dude, I feel like I'm going crazy right now. I feel like I'm melting down. It's Jordan. Okay, yeah, okay. So I dropped Jordan. I think Jordan has an argument to be up there. It's just, it depends. Like, a lot of people are going to hit better with Shohei. So I think that's why I ended up doing that the first time. But all right, now we can do like structuring within our tiers. So the relievers definitely at the bottom of the top 20. They're great. It's nice to know you can go to them and they'll be more or less shut down most of the time. But there's a serious conversation to be had about how much value they bring. These two, I feel like are rated pretty fairly. Griffey's rated pretty fairly. Brian Reynolds definitely better than Griffey. I don't know if he's more important than these two because he's not going to hit a ton of home runs for you. I think that tier is actually structured pretty well. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. Top 30. And this will be the only way you can actually see the top. So if you go check the link for the tier list, which should be there because I haven't like saved it yet. So it shouldn't be glitched. This will be the only way you can actually see my true like top 50 is watching the video. So Devers probably the best player here. I think Shohei goes towards the bottom for me. I hate his swing. If you like it, cool. He might even be a top 20 card for you. But for me, he's not. I think a lot of low difficulty players are people that really enjoy Shohei because they don't get punished with them lefty like a bunch of high players will. Glaber, just a good righty alternative if you don't want to run one of these two at second. These two are the same DH. I think Reese is probably like here, where he's close to the best player in that tier. A really good free card. Like I said, technically Raleigh's a free card that you have to go grind for, but it's a bigger grind. And that's it. I think the best two completely free cards are probably Raleigh, pretty much Matt Strom's free, and Rhys Hoskins. I think they're all like great cards. So I think that tier's done. Top 40. I think Jimmy's like really good. I don't think he's worth 100K, don't get me wrong, but he is really good. I think he makes some headway. Like he's definitely better than these three, but not by enough to jump him up a tier, I don't think. If I want to be real harsh, I'd probably bring like Glaber down or even Ohtani down and move Rollins up, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think at shortstop, I'd rather run him at shortstop over Seager, but I think Seager's got so much first. You can DH him. He can play short. He can play third. He can play second. So you got options. Kind of the same as like McMahon. I think McMahon won't get you the heights that Seager does, but he also won't have the lows where he's kind of miserable to use against lefties. I think Larry Doby's like probably down here. I think Chipper will still be pretty good despite, you know, kind of the subpar stats. And then I think that, yeah, that's a good order of, you know, how willing I would be to use all the cards in this tier. Top 50. The worst card here is probably Tim Raines. The powers is going to be obvious. And then next to that, it's these two because, like, yeah, they play a really good defensive center field for you. If your alternative is Roman Anthony and he's going to hit 400 with multiple home runs some games, that's probably more valuable than the plus 15 like defense you're getting from these other guys. So I don't weight center field defense incredibly highly. It's nice to have, but you would also like for them to hit a little bit. Then it's probably Trey. I think these two are pretty similar. I think Jackie as a shortstop or a second baseman is more or less the same spot where he's going to struggle to find power, but he has a really good swing and some really good quirks. And he's pretty fast and he plays good defense. So there's a lot to like, but at the end of the day, this game's about hitting home runs and he doesn't always do that. I think Ruth is probably like here. I'd probably be more reset. Yeah, I think he's right there. And then Harper is probably the best player in there. And then I think honorable mentions, nobody plays up because they're either like pure DHs or roster investment guys or just pitchers that aren't going to be good on multiple difficulties. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully I gave you a decent thought process. This one was better, I promise you. This was like 25 and a half minutes of my life gone because OBS wanted to freeze. So I think I did a little better job that time, but we're going to have to live with this take. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know who I got wrong. I'm sure there'll be a lot of Ohtani fans, a lot of Devers fans, but I just don't rate them that highly. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe. Till next time, peace.